Togsbord ind til næste afgang.
대분이요 미쳐가마대 대분이요 미쳐가마대 미쳐가마 미여제모메 미쳐가마 미여제모메 하여제레 하비도히로 하여제레 하비도히로
The United Nations Climate Summit in Copenhagen is becoming increasingly chaotic. So the number of delegates, observers, NGOs and journalists that want to attend the conference is much larger than expected. The number of people wishing to have access to the Bella Center where the talks are being held is almost double the capacity. And to make matters worse, tensions are rising inside the climate talks themselves. Developing countries on Monday forced a suspension of the meeting because they fear they're getting a bad deal. That after COP15 President Connie Hedegaard last week already tried to prevent the tiny Pacific state of Tuvalu from speaking out.
I'm from HP, but I'm representing the UN now, because this is a UN project sponsored by HP. The software. So what do you want to hear? So this is the global climate change application on a touch computer, touch screen, and the user can scroll around the world, finding a specific spot of their interest. As an example, it could be Nigeria. If you're from Nigeria, you press here, and up comes a video with a specific message from that region. And the user can then put on the headphones here and listen to the video and concentrate on what the man has to say. So the idea is you find any place in the world.
This is on the first day, that is on December 12th. We went to Bella Center and we also joined the long queue to register ourselves. Then in the afternoon on 12th itself, we joined the rest of the world. Somewhere around 20,000 people from across the world joined together and went for a relay. We walked down along with the other groups coming from across the world. We joined hands together and we went for a relay and shouting for a just climate deal. There is also another place from, not in Bella Center, but other place where there is a climate forum where different people, different NGOs, different environmental groups, different groups gathered. On 15th of December, when after staying there for 5 days, we could not really know, we didn't know what was going on. So communities, climate communities from across the globe, from Africa, from South America and Asian countries, we got together and we discussed about the ongoing talk, where we also shared with each other the experience of our 4 days stay in Copenhagen, and everybody was very sad that this is not the way it should go, that we people who are nurturing the world should also get space to talk. And the next day we decided to meet at Bella Center, in the gate of outside Bella Center, where we protested, and then we decided to burn our badges. Badge doesn't mean anything if we are not able to go there. We came together with posters and we shouted. We said that no legitimacy without communities. Stop the cop shop, because this is not proving any meaning to our stay here. And shared about our experience, our anger, our disappointment with the press in Klema Forum.
The fast-blowing winds have a steady velocity and move in the narrow zone of the upper atmosphere. These fast-blowing winds are called what?
Jet stream.
Jet streams. Yes. Okay, the climate is a long-term effect of the sun radiation on the rotating Earth's surface and atmosphere. Okay. You know what is temperature, isn't it? Temperature, there is what? You know what is hot and what is cold, isn't it? In India, we have experienced 4 main seasons. 1 is cold weather season, 2 is hot weather season, 3 is advancing monsoon seasons, and the last one is retreating monsoon seasons. Okay. See, the seasons of rains. Advancing monsoons means the seasons of rains. Okay. Rain when it is, raining, isn't it? The intensity of the low pressures conditions over the northwestern plains is increased by early June. They are strong enough to attract the trade winds of the southern hemisphere. This ocean originated southeast trade winds move over the Indian Ocean and cross the equator in the following southwestern direction. As they pass over the equator, warm currents, they carry a lot of moisture in them. The monsoons are wind as compared to the steady trade winds. These strong winds tend to blow at an average speed of 30 km per hour. See, 30 km per hour. No? Right, 1 hour they can blow at 30 kilometers. Okay.
Pola la kani ekta koi dibo. Itu na. Ekta kotha kora tamde pola pahro hoje. Ekta ajikali owl siadi. Chira ekta owl kune thake na. Itu bird laga itu bi amakan pola kotha kora la. Thik itu aje amakan manubi itu predict kuro na pare. Itu laga holi bi na. Tai bi predict tala gulti. Thursday morning de tage all to iman nai. Holbi baris ahi na itu ki ko tu bal hobo kwa tamte itu chira to morning da hala kurina he to kuru kurna na to itu to baris nahi wo kuna manu khan duri lo to ajikali to inika hala kurina hile tu la predict to ekdom misamsi na kila mana tala ami pala kwanchana tai predict kure holibi phena dasar date pani pura yete to na ho tai hala kurele pani to puri thakibo naldo pala to itu take predict kure itu
Here in our community, when me and my colleagues sat down with the community's villagers, we discussed about the changing patterns of climate. Then everybody said about the rise of temperature. Everybody said about scarcity of water, more disease. Everybody saying about like new sight of different insects and pests even in the fields. So those are the things like which have emerged from the people.
Aru ekta hole to chimti etu khan bi pani puri gine tai khan to bahar de ula suru hoile ate to pani na puribo kobo pola na aji kali tu nika ek haftan chana pani puri thakibo ta khan bi bahar de ulabo na puribo kobo ta ai any pani to ai ja kali manu na una itu sam itu chimti aru itu chira khan bi gulti predict kure ta khan la bi nale itu khan to natural ase itu to poila for father khan to itu khan predict kure na ite bosite ki mangor banai na thake ase poila la pura ite to change hobo lagi jai se kile gole heat ahile besi heat ahi jai aba khan bi city te thakan chana na poila to go uchana banale bi ekdom normal ta thake aru aji kali to upay nai sob la room te fan lagi jai se kile mane gurum ahile to ekdom gurum ahi jai itu amakhan la bisi duk bosela na poila hisab te hole to ite amakhan gor bana khan to sob ucha banale to heat to bisi ahi jai aru thanda hole to ekdom thanda ahi jai ite to amakhan to ku tikna na thaka jai bacha khan to ite amakhan nisana young age khan to jaina gor bana bogole ekdom ucha banai na amakhan thik itu hi normal ta thake nal to light facility to iman town tension na hoy kitaba to ek din du din bi nahi jai to amakhan fan na lagile to ekdom dugla amakhan la dugla to itu ase amila hesapte ele ki kobo itu sapna te holibi na aro hossate bi ni yete dan sukha kori thakile ifene oporte ni ki kobo andera chana cloud khan dark dikhile ani baris dangor ahiwa ase kone ni poila chana hole to ni durubo pare holibi aji kali to aku tikana nai itu sambol ahile bi pani tu puri na jibo holibi itu jagate nahi lagya tamte aro poila hole to ni bosi manu holibi ki holibi ani durubo pare naturally na ini ka ai tu tamte to pani pura tamte ase az itu tamte to pani man na pure kona poila tu hole to ani sabji aro dan holibi ki banale be ni time tu jane aji kali tu banale bi amakhan ke jugai di ঠিক টাইমতে নাহে আৰু এইটো মৌচুম বাল থাকে মৌচুম আজি বাল থাকে আছে কোনে দান সুখা কৰি থাকিব শান্তিনি এনি নাহা টাইমতে হলিবি এনি আহি যায় প্ৰেক্টিক কৰিব নাপাৰা হৈ যাইছে
We have some 20 varieties of paddies grown in different pockets of the terrace fields. And here also we depend on one is on spring water and also on the monsoon rain. Our community is still very close. There is cohesiveness, still like that. Our belongingness is still there, and that is also in agriculture, and that is also where we come to know or we come to feel the real bonding of the community. People will help each other. If our family at home, if there is somebody who is sick and who is not able to go to the field and we are late, we are behind others, then like the community will come and help us. And then there is also like even students, we get holidays in the month of June and December, but in June everybody goes to the field. Even working people who are into other jobs besides agriculture, they will also come and work in the field, and that is still very strong. And for even like socializing, say young boys and girls or even mothers, or single mothers, they will work together. One day they will come to my field, next day to another field, and that's how like they still work in group. Our agriculture department gave some chemical pesticides. Slowly all these external things are coming in, and then people are tending to forget the rich resources, the crop diversity which they have and they keep for themselves. So that is one big threat.
He grabs with sir. King kubitsa. King potsa. King hamutsa. King totsebe. King chemere. King mena yetsa. King paitsetsa. King carrot. King kutitsetsa. King kutitse. King totsebe. King kini. King ata. King lady's finger. King chemere. King kubatse. King yanchak. King makata manabe. King potsumi makata. King ketsusetsu. King asuse. King paitse.
Y el momento hablamos de una gran ofensiva del capitalismo en el campo, donde las empresas transnacionales quieren acaparar, o sea, se apropiar de todos los bienes de la naturaleza. la tierra, la biodiversidad, las semillas, el agua. Existe una división mundial en el trabajo y en América Latina está responsable por producir la pasta de la celulosa, la soya, la cana, la minería, entre otras materias primas. Las 5 mayores transnacionales de la industria química en el mundo han tenido estos lucros tremendos solamente en el año 2008. Es impresionante. Y ahí queda claro que la crisis es solamente para los pobres, que vivimos en crisis hace muchos, que para los grandes no hay crisis.
What do we want? We want it when? Mula sa Pilipinas!
Yes, about UNESCO. A form of the bread movement in England, if you're interested in. The whole description of the bread movement is really to promote people for people to meet and make bread together, and by making bread, discuss what they want to change in their life. Discuss what they want to change, from recycling to the way they walk, to the way they talk with people, to the whole organization of the world we live in. Bread is the first step, and it's a wonderful thing to do together. It's really great.
Do you have her details, or do you want to take my details?
Your details better. Yeah.
Last year in June, I and 28 other people hijacked a coal train going into Drax coal power station at the same time that the government announced that they were going to build 7 more coal power stations. Going into Yorkshire, the largest coal power station in Europe is called Drax. And we were arrested, and we were in the cells for about 28 hours, and we were threatened with 2 years of imprisonment, and we went to the High Courts. The whole experience affected me emotionally quite a lot, and also on an idea of conviction as to why I'd done it. And as an activist, I'd done different actions, but I'd never been arrested and never been treated in the way that I had by the police. And I then was like, okay, I can try and pretend that this hasn't happened, or I can try and get as involved as possible. So there was a working group of us amongst the 29 that tried to put together a defence with our lawyers. And I was part of writing away to different people around the world who are already affected by climate change, asking them if they would come and be a witness at our court case. So to use our court case as a platform for their change, to tell their story. That campaigners have no clear connection with people suffering from climate change. So to me it seemed like this massive gap in the so-called movement, that it was really difficult to get any information, even just written statements from people the other side of the world experiencing climate change, with people who are prepared to campaign and doing other stuff, whatever it is.
We were in our own traditional dress and all, and the interesting thing is that people are more of their eyes aren't into the kind of dress you are wearing, and as if something you look like exotic, some sort of like my friend from Kutch, he's also a pastoralist. He wear that big turban and then white cloth. So like people used to say, oh, Indian, it's only the dress which is also catching the attention of the other people. And also people, because I wear the traditionally woven clothes, people also come, oh, which part are you from? And what is this dress all about? It's only the dress which is also catching the attention. They just come and they just ask, why are you here? And we have to say, we are here to tell the world that we have the power to heal the climate crisis, and they say that, do you think that you can be heard? What we do here in our community is that we live with nature, we give, we get from nature, but we don't exploit. Whereas other parts of the world, some so-called cities and towns, which have destroyed completely the natural resources to make big cities, to bring out big production centers. And I feel that that difference between life and then production of profit is something which really matters. We have been facing problems in the last few years, these changes in the climate. And so what we need to do is that communities like mine should really tell that we need to go in harmony, we need to live in harmony with nature, or the world will collapse one day. The earth will collapse one day, because it can't take anymore the greed and the selfish nature of man. That's what I understand. Nowadays, there are some climate experts who will fly from one country to another country and then will talk on climate, how to combat the word adaptation, mitigation, and all, which it's not very common with us. For us, like, we talk about coping, the changing, the coping mechanisms we have every year to prepare ourselves for any unusual climate changes. For us, we are also, like, even it comes to wordings, we use always coping. How do we cope?
The negotiations are about how do we enhance the implementation of the existing climate change treaty, and enhance it in what respects? Enhance it in respects of mitigation, which means nothing more than reducing the carbon emissions. Enhancing action on adaptation. We can only advance that by having sufficient amount of financial resources, and we must have access to the best technology that is available. And lastly, which is the most important for developing countries, it must be equitable.
One evening we took off to a close by town of Sweden, and we came back. So after coming back, like, I was asked by Ram, the nutrition aid guy from Delhi, and another one from Ekta Parisad. He called the three of us that will join the other NGO group and meet Jairam Ramesh, our environment minister, in his hotel. So we went there, and I was just observing, and they were from Greenpeace and Action Aid, or I'm not very sure, but some 10 of us met Jairam Ramesh, and then we were like, the other friends were asking him, like, what is all going about?
Let me focus on the politics of the issue. We need to counter the impression that India has a negative agenda. This is sort of the propaganda that has been assiduously spread by the Western countries. And what I have tried to do is to give you a flavor of some of the big initiatives that we have taken. I believe that the area of forestry management is crucial to any agreement on climate change. In fact, yesterday when chairman of the negotiating committee came to call on me, and I told him, I said, but the first low-hanging fruit waiting to be picked in Copenhagen is an agreement on what credit should be given to countries in the area of forestry management.
We had an interaction, but he was also saying that don't be poetic, let us be realistic. You NGOs are somehow not very realistic. All those things So from there, after meeting, he has to go for another meeting, so it was a rush kind of thing.
India has taken the lead and put forward a specific proposal called Red Plus, which is not just incentives to countries which control deforestation, but really giving credit to countries which are actively engaged in the area of expanding forestry cover. And the big challenge for us is really to improve the quality of this forest cover, because the area under forests is unlikely to improve because of the huge demographic pressures in our country. 21% of our geographical area is under forests, and it's unlikely that 21% is going to become 30%. But what can certainly happen is that the quality of that 21% can improve very substantially. Today, out of that 21%, 2% is high density forest cover, 10% is medium density forest cover, and 9% is degraded forest cover. And what we need to do is really for the degraded forest to move to the medium density and the medium density to move to the high density and the high density to be protected. This has to translate itself into outcomes. Ultimately, the quality of the forest and tree cover has to improve. But I think for the first time in 60 years, forestry is getting the resource importance that it deserves, largely because of the carbon sequestration potential of our forests.
Guido, How'd you get out there? I didn't do. Oh no! He headed over the top!
One more time, nice and loud. Let's up the volume. 1, 2, 3. Our future!
Again, come on!
Most of us felt very sad, and then our friends from other parts were also saying that we have our own solution. If the world is not going to listen to us, don't disturb us, leave us alone, and then we will manage our own life. So that was like our friends were giving out, and you know, like it was not really a nice experience because
Anything less means extinction for the polar bear and thousands of other species.
Justice! We won't! No!
The world is watching. We need world leaders to deliver a real deal in Copenhagen. A deal that is
beginning
fair.
with the United States, and that is a shame. It is a selfish approach of those who are most responsible because of the irrational patterns of consumption of capitalism. Hyper-developed countries. I'll conclude here because I don't want to stand in the way of lunch and photos and the next session. I'd like to pay a tribute to Copenhagen and the spirit of Copenhagen, its people and the people of the world, and I'd like to commit ourselves to life, to saving lives, and to the future. An inglorious closing, perhaps, but a beautiful closing because it will be full of hope. We will take Copenhagen back to our countries in our hearts. Thank you very much, Madam President.
time here is slow, time there is fast. And that is why we didn't get space. But then, in that fast world also, there are some people who are wanting to hear about what we are to say, the kind of life we live. And that space, of course, from individuals here and there, that some people sat down and listened to us. That's what we have had in Copenhagen also. Otherwise, like, of course, like the life here in Chizami village, a small community where the community is, the bonding is strong, and you go out of this village, and the more you go further, you know, like, time is really something which I should say it's rushing at a mad speed. And I think the leaders, the concerned people who are so-called climate experts, they are also going in such a speed, and that is why they don't have time to listen to people like us. They say that we are poetic, you shouldn't give poetic things, you should be realistic. They consider that our life here is poetic and we are living in some kind of another world where they don't believe these things. And there are some few people who sat down and then listened to our stories.
last year in June, I and 28 other people hijacked a coal train.
The whole description of the bread movement is really to promote people for people to meet and make bread together, and by making bread, discuss what they want to change in their life.